Are you experiencing imposter syndrome? Do you suffer with constant self-doubt? Well, in this video, I would like to try my best to help you with that. So, hi, my name is Michael Quigley. I am the founder of Kataholos. I am a leadership mentor, a business trainer, and the creator of the Kataholos online learning platform, which is an award-winning online learning platform. And I'm on a mission to help 1 billion people. Hopefully, I can help you now as one of them. So, imposter syndrome, right? What is it? How does it happen? What are some of the most common signs that maybe you are experiencing it or suffering it? And if you hear them, you think, yeah, that's me. And what can we do to actually help you about it? Because I've suffered with it. Suffered with it. I wouldn't say suffered anymore. I've lived with it and continue to experience it. And you can handle it. Don't worry. So, imposter syndrome is a psychological term. The idea of being an imposter, being you are going to be found out, you are a fraud, you're a bad person. And a syndrome is an ongoing thing. So, imposter syndrome, by that definition, it's this constant fear that you're not really that good and you've just, everyone thinks you're kind of winging it, or they don't really think you're great. You don't think you're great. And any success you've had, eventually, you're either going to be found out that you're not, it's going to be taken away from you, you're going to lose everything, or you're not actually that good. So, Freddie Mercury from Queen, the singer, apparently suffered massively from this and thought, despite writing all these incredible songs and being an amazing performer, he wasn't that good, and it was all going to be taken away from him. I've experienced this a lot. First experienced this when I started a business, because if you know anything about me, I was a primary school teacher. So of course I'm thinking, well, I can't do this. And even once it started to go well, I'm thinking, well, I'm just kind of winging it and everyone's going to find out I'm not that good. And after years and years and years, you start to realize, shut up. No one was thinking that anyway. And that was just you. So that's one of my examples with imposter syndrome. And I've had many. And I would make the case right at the start of this video that it's not a bad thing. It's not particularly fun. But a lot of the people I've worked with over the years that have suffered with imposter syndrome, and you can really suffer with it, are highly intelligent, people that are very emotionally sensitive, and they care about things, they care about causes, they're deeply concerned, they are high achievers, they want to do really well. Well, if you're that kind of person, I think you're doing pretty well. And this is almost like kind of like stress can be the byproduct of working hard and a well-lived life. This can be the byproduct of the kind of person you are. So recognize if you're suffering with imposter syndrome right now, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's maybe a byproduct of being a very good person who works hard. So, what are some of the things you think, well, how do I know when I'm actually suffering with this or if it's taking it a bit too far? Well, the first one is this constant feeling of self doubt. Everybody doubts themselves to a greater or lesser extent. But if it's constant, every single thing you do, you're like, what if I can't do this? What if this? Constantly doubting yourself, constantly doubting yourself. I can't do this. What if this goes badly? That's self doubt, that ability to not be able to trust yourself. Every decision you make, you think that might be wrong. That's a sign that maybe it's taken it a bit too far. Another one could be any success that you have. You get a job promotion, you start your own business, you achieve a gold medal, you win something. Somebody gives you a compliment. That's a really common one. Someone tells you you're doing really well at this, and you deflect it. Well, I was just lucky, or that was just because the market, it was the timing in the market, or it wasn't really down to me. It was down to my team, and it's an inability to take the compliment and the inability to look at yourself and to say, yeah, I've got some skills here, and I worked really hard, so I should take the credit here. And you find you can't quite do that, right? And the third one, which is linked to that, is, and I really suffered with this when I was a primary school teacher, it's perfectionism. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be exactly right. If I've got 35 children in my class and one person doesn't learn that lesson, I'm a failure. It's got to be absolutely right. And if we've got to get this 100%, this target, if we get 99%, we're failures. Now, high standards are amazing. They're not bad. But if you feel like a personal failure, if everything doesn't go exactly the way you want it, that's perfectionism. And that's a sign of imposter syndrome. All right. So you can see how these things, and there are others, they add up. They don't sound like a lot of fun. It's got to be perfect. You can't take a compliment, can't take credit, and you're constantly feeling self doubt. Right. So what do you actually do about it? Right. I'm here for you. Don't worry. The first thing is just extend a little bit more into this, because I don't believe in quick fixes. Some things can be fixed quick. Yeah, maybe like a leaky towel. Just turn it. But these things, a syndrome means a consistent, ongoing thing, right? And I've made the point right at the start of this video that we're not trying to change you as a person. So it's more about how do you handle this and live with this and see it for what it really is, rather than just going, I can just fix this, I can just change myself straight away. Because that's not what we're here for. It's more about development and growth. So I want to make the point that I now believe that imposter syndrome, when I experience it, or when I've experienced a lot in the past, comes from an inability to have like a healthy image with yourself, an ability to look at yourself and other people in a realistic and objective way. What does that mean? It means you're probably far too hard on yourself. The opposite of that are people that, are really arrogant and they think they're great all the time. Yeah, actually, a lot of these people, when you speak to in private, they suffer with imposter syndrome. So just recognize that. To start with, imposter syndrome is not an objective reality. People aren't talking about you more than you all the time, like you probably think, and they're not thinking about you like you probably think. Imposter syndrome, I would make the point, can go into self introspection to the point of self obsession, meaning you're looking at yourself, looking for bad stuff. So all you're going to find is bad stuff, as opposed to looking at yourself, which is good, and maybe finding the good and the bad and looking at it a bit more balanced. So think about it like this, right? Do you have imposter syndrome on behalf of somebody else, like your friend? They're definitely going to get found out. They're rubbish. We don't tend to do that for other people. We tend to be able to see people sometimes better than we can see ourselves. So just recognize that imposter syndrome is like a warped way of thinking about yourself. So what do you actually do about it? Well, let's look at the three. I've written them down. So what was the first one? Oh yeah, constant self-doubt, right? What of this? What about that? What about that? What about that? Here's a really cool phrase that can help with that. Am I overthinking this? I read this years ago. I can't remember why. I'm overthinking this. You say that to yourself. And if the answer is yes, stop. Don't engage. Yeah. The self doubt, you can't balance self doubt by going, I'm sure I'll be great. It's fine. It doesn't work like that. For some reason, negative feelings that come with self doubt are so overpowering. Best thing to do is take a break. Break that pattern. I'm overthinking this. Yes, we'll take a break then. Yeah. Take a break. You might say, well, that's not fixing anything. It is. It's stopping the self doubt just descending, because you can't fix a pattern by sitting there thinking, and then trying to outthink it and thinking a different way. It just doesn't work, right? So the one about the self-doubt is take a break. If you find yourself overthinking, use that phrase, am I overthinking this? The answer is yes, take a break. Go into a different room, do something, right? Second one, the inability to take a compliment and to attribute your success. I've learned a lot about this being an English person working globally now. English people generally, right? Might not be English watching this. We're bad at taking compliments. Someone says, "Hey, Mike, I love your hair." Oh, really? Oh, no. Then they tell me again. It's this weird thing. Right? It's part of English culture, but it's not just English people. And so I've reflected on that a lot. So when people now give me a compliment, I just say thanks, and that's it, right? And so it's the same kind of thing with success. Why should you not be successful? Why should you not be able to get compliments? Why should things not go badly? And a lot of people, when they reflect on that, and I say that to them, they say, well, I don't deserve it. Why is that? And a lot of it is just down to bad experiences in the past. They don't particularly like themselves. That's a heavy one when people tell me that. I say, I don't want to like myself that much, Mike. So what can you do about that? Again, think about it like if you were talking to a friend. Why shouldn't they be successful? They worked hard. They deserve it. Well done. Start to see it like yourself like that. Yeah. I think if it was somebody else who put a lot of work and effort in and tried hard, do they deserve success? Absolutely. So why are you any different? Why are you any different? If you're so used to critiquing yourself and be hard on yourself, critique your critique. Criticize your criticism. Yeah. Come from a place of acceptance and love for yourself. That's what helps with all imposter syndrome. It's an inability generally to, we just feel as constant like we're not at home in ourselves, so we're always going to lose things. Everyone's going to find out. A lot of it's just not being able to just sit with ourselves and be like, I'm fine as I am. Yeah, I'm fine as I am. It's not about techniques and things like that. These things are great, but it's got to come from this place of acceptance for yourself. As I've accepted myself and my faults and my failures more, guess what? Imposter syndrome's gone straight down, which leads into the third one, perfectionism. I've worked so hard on this one. I could give you a week's worth of videos on this one, but let me keep it simple. Perfectionism will cripple you. It will cripple you if you let it. High standards are different. High standards are great. Never drop your standards, ever. Keep them really, really high. Anybody else who tells you drop your standards, don't listen to them. Unless there's somebody you love and respect and they're doing better than you and you think I need to learn from them, follow them, I'll take their advice. When I was perfectionist, it stopped me achieving, because if I didn't get the thing exactly the way I wanted to be, it was deemed as a failure. There was no enjoyment to life, right? So how did I actually balance it out? I started to look at, where does it need to be amazing and where could it not be? So let me give an example of these videos. You go back to my first video, watch my first video on my YouTube channel, Kataholos YouTube channel. It's on stress and it's 6.5 minutes. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. It's not. It's not. It's not. I don't even think it's that good. I thought it was great at the time. I look back on it now and people say, I love seeing your journey and how you developed. So I leave it up there. I've made thousands of videos over the last 7 years. Are they all perfect? Nope. Do they need to be? No. Think about your vision and values and what you really care about. And if it's sustaining that and serving that and moving that forward, then it's great. Right? What does that mean? So I'm always about trying to help a billion people. Hopefully you're one of them, right? And if this video is moving me closer towards helping you, then it's working. So how could I do a perfect version of that? It doesn't exist. It's a concept we have in mind, and we attribute, oh, when I get there, I'll be happy, as opposed to when I said before, and kind of second step, which is I'm good as I am. All right. So differentiate between high standards and perfectionism. Maybe use the first question, I'm overthinking this. Yeah, for this, you say, it's got to be perfect. Then I'm overthinking it because I think it's got to be perfect here. Take a step back. Yeah. Start to separate out. Maybe even write that down, or you could use it in something like AI, like ChatGPT. What's the difference between perfectionism and high standards? If you're not too sure about this, see what it tells you. Feed it back into your example. Use a real life example without any names, and say, right, in this situation, am I trying to be a perfectionist here, or am I just demonstrating high standards? If you're not sure with that, use AI for scaffolding. If you want to be a bit more brave, you don't use that. Just think about yourself, self-reflect, meditate, spend time thinking it through. Yeah. And think, how do I move beyond perfectionism? Because the way to move beyond perfectionism is not to be more perfect. It's to embrace these little faults and failures and little things. I'll give you one you probably never thought of. Look at my face. Can you see it's not symmetrical? There's a story behind that. And I've looked at it many, many times. And I used to think, I don't know, it's got to be symmetrical. It's got to be, but now I'm just like, it's my face. It's okay. Acceptance and high standards, much, much better than perfectionism. All right. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I really wanted to help you with this because it hurts a lot of people. Up to 70% of people, apparently, at some point in their lives, will feel this imposter syndrome. So what do? We understand it to start with. Think about you and think, how does it play out in my life? Yeah. And then start to take it forward. What did Mike say? He said, well, I'm overthinking it. If the answer is yes, take a break. The self-acceptance, who am I not to do well? Who am I not to self-reflect? Who am I not to be successful and be proud of myself? It's actually quite selfish to have a warped view of yourself rather than just accept it and say, yep, I've done my bit and other people have helped and together it's been great. And the third one is separate perfectionism from high standards. Yeah, very, very different. Keep the high standards, not perfectionism. Put those together, give it a spin, and hopefully it can help you. So give it a try and let me know how you get on. So if you enjoyed watching this video, I'm really glad to hear it. Please give it a like, and please consider following the Kataholos Leadership YouTube channel if you want to check that out. Also, if you want to look on the link in the descriptions, you can see how you can take it further, as well as subscribing. You can join our Kataholos candles. These are emails I send every Friday trying to inspire you. And you can also check out the link to our award-winning online learning platform right there.